All right, well, welcome back, guys, to another edition of Sled Stories. We got Max and I up in the Gas Bay Peninsula, and we're joined by Jonathan of Aventure Chic Chocs with us tonight.
Welcome, Jonathan.
Thank you guys for having me to your podcast.
Yes.
I'm really happy for that.
And thank you for having us. For many, many years, you've taken exceptional care of us, and we had some fun today, like always. And
how many years now? I was we were talking
God.
about.
I was thinking about that last night. It's got to be 10, right?
Exactly over 10.
Yeah,
years,
it's got to
huh?
be 10. So what we were just before you came over, we were talking about grass drags, and we were wondering that first booth you had at Grass Drags, that was in the multi-vendor corner. That was probably 2015.
15.
Yeah.
15. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been
It's there. Yeah, pretty much.
And we
been
knew
a bit.
we knew you before then a little bit, and I think the first time that we ever came up here was the Polaris Dan Adams thing, right?
no,
No,
you came
not
before.
here, but to your.
To me,
no, I don't think so. I think we came
you
up.
came before because I remember like a crew. What's his name? There, Coppersmith. There, you know.
Oh, and Andrew. That was the
Andrew.
first time we rode with. That was Dan's time. That was the same time.
No,
Yeah.
Andrew came before that.
Oh, did he?
Came like in
Yeah,
10, and I thought it was like with him. I met you. I'm not sure. Like 10 years.
Yeah, it's been-
10 years. It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years.
It's been a
been 10
long
years.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had a good day today. You guys are, the season is regrettably not
Where it
should be. But I mean, you're not alone because it's in
Everywhere.
this scenario everywhere
I
right
know,
now.
that's crazy. That's
But
crazy.
we were talking too. We saying last night we had our trip to Mount Gru planned for next week, and they were going back and forth with canceling it because of the 2 meters of snow on the mountain if they don't open it, and the river crossing I guess was another big problem. The river's not frozen, and so we ended up pivoting and gave Jonathan a text and said, "Hey, you got room for a crew to come up this weekend?"
Yeah, last
And,
minute thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just, I mean, obviously our snow back home is just like
It's
non-existent. So it was like,
nothing.
and we had the time booked for a trip, and we're like, well, we got to go.
We got to ride.
we got to
go.
Yeah, we did it. We did it today.
did.
You know, yeah, it was quite a really technical, but we did it.
We did it. We did. We had some fun. There was some good lines in there. Lots of laughs. Lots of stucks. Lots of nonsense.
There's a
which
lot.
is-
There's a lot of bones out there.
That's
There's a lot of bones.
that's
out
why
there.
we come.
Yeah, it was
When's
fun.
the? I mean, we'll get into your whole history and everything, but do you remember a winter like this, like in recent history? Like when's it been? Because this, I mean, from my side of things, like I don't remember one quite this low in a long
I
time.
mean, last year, January was not like any others. We had a lot of rain. You know, it was raining. But
Yeah.
now it's cold and we have no snow in the forecast there. You know, it's like usually the Chic Choc are well known for an average of 7 meter of snowfall per year, right behind where we are, 7 meter. And right now, okay, let's talk in feet with you guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's like 7 meter.
So that's
times
about
3
20 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, about 20 feet, and we're like at 7 feet, 8 feet in the max. You know, somewhere.
Which after the crazy storms that you guys got, which we got, not even obviously not near as bad as you guys
Yeah,
got,
no.
but the trees that are all laid down and the forest damage is insane.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. You know, that is crazy. If we're all to talk about that, you know, because I rode in November, and in November we had more snow than what it is right now, and it was like really powdery, and we had tons of fun. Me and Matt and all
Yeah.
the guides basically there, and we had tons of fun. Then we went riding. But this storm happened between New Year's and Christmas, something like that.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
had winds of over 140 kilometers, which is what?
About 190
Yeah,
to 100
It's a
miles an
lot.
hour.
It's
It's a lot. But someplace, I mean, you know, I'm not an expert, but you guys seen it there, you know, like if you got some pictures, trees maybe like 2.5 feet big, just snap just like a toothpick, you know.
Yeah.
It must have been like
And hundreds of them.
Yeah, micro tornado. Never
Yeah.
seen that. You know, it's like it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Did you guys get much rain up here, or was it just
No.
lack of snow?
Once, I mean, that day, it was like 40 degrees with wind of like 90 to 100 miles per hour, let's say, like.
Yeah.
And then, we had a bit of rain, but the 40 degrees to 45, really killed it.
Yeah, because that must have been the same storm we had down in Vermont. We had crazy wind and rain, and
It was between Christmas and New Year.
yeah, we had it. So it must have been the same system that made it up here. And
Yeah,
obviously,
it's
up here
possible,
was
Yeah.
it really took out a lot of this.
Crazy. Never seen that. But,
No.
we're waiting for more snow, and then we'll be able to go back and.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you get one or two decent snowfalls, and you're back to riding to all the stuff that you normally would ride. It's not doom and gloom. It's just a little low, but there's still riding to be had. It's still good.
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
of course. It's only like, let's say, call it like that, like the beginners area there.
Yeah.
Usually they're cover someplace. We ride over the trees, basically.
right.
We
Yeah,
ride
you're
the
riding over a
forest.
lot of the crap.
Yeah, and now it's like going through it. It's
Exactly.
Right, like you were saying, like going into most of these areas, like usually it's just you just go in and find your area,
Yeah,
but
and-
now you got to get through creeks and blowdowns and crap to get to the area, and it's like,
right,
and to your
they're
point
good,
too,
yeah.
you said it earlier, was like the woods look totally different with no snow.
exactly
Like certain area features, you're like, oh, I remember going in right here, and usually it's just an open creek bed and it's all open, but now I can't go there, so I got to go around, and it's like you're trying to pick your way through.
And I know
crap.
where I am. And today, I was taking my GPS out, and I know because I always say that to my customer. I always leave like the Gaia map running into my pocket, and I invite them to have it running. So just let's say somebody get hurt, so everybody knows their way out. But today was, the spot that we went. I went there. I don't know. I went there like hundreds of times, and I show you my GPS. I'm like, look at all the tracks. You see million of tracks, and we're right in there. I'm like, fudge.
I know.
But half doesn't look what it looks like
I know.
usually.
Right, yeah, it's
I
unrecognizable.
I saw your GPS, and it's just it's like a kid with crayons, like a squiggle line, and you're like, we're right here, we're in this stuff, and you're like, we've been in all the zones for the most part that we were in today, and it's hard to recognize. Sometimes you're like scratching your head, you're like, oh yeah, that's the thing, and that's the bridge
Yeah.
and the pond and the spot, and it's
Obviously, there's so much more to ride when there's 7 more feet of snow. You're like, I can go everywhere now, but it's like you got to kind of pick your line a little bit.
you
But
gotta pick your battles. So
Yeah, well, this is what it is, but I'm not worried, because I've seen like snowstorm in one night. One of my best there was 7 feet of snow. I remember I had customers say, oh, there is a lot of snow up in the Chic Chocs. We want snow. I said, don't worry, it's snowing tonight. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Fudge, man. We never made it up. We never made it up with those customers. I come there, came up to the top of the mountain. There was like 7 feet of snow.
yeah.
And it was crazy, insane. I still have picture. I see one bumper taken out and 4 heads.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's a
That's
day you
awesome.
don't even make it near the zone, but it's still an epic day.
it was an epic day, and I remember. It was not even noon. I went up. I was able to go up to the mountain, but I was out of gas. But I have half of the crew from the group. They said, "Man, there's freaking too much snow. Let's
Yeah,
go
they're just
back."
smoked.
They're smoked.
Oh yeah, too much snow. I'm going back to the chalet there. I'm going to drink beer. There's too much snow. Yeah. I mean, I never heard that.
That's a good problem to have.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, we'll drink some beer after a whole day of good riding, but not to call it quits after lunch and be like too much snow. No, until
Yeah.
until I'm on fumes, we are not going back.
And in the village, we had almost no snow when we get that big snowstorm up in the mountain. And I will always remember that. This is maybe one of my deepest day I rode there. The next day, I'm like, fudge, I won't run out of gas. I remember, like David, my older guys, what are you doing? And I was trapping 2 5-gallons, on my
Yeah, go dump
tunnel.
them in the woods somewhere.
Plus my jug, and I burned everything.
Yeah.
That's a
crazy.
great.
Yeah, because you're just you're just pinned the entire day,
yeah.
so it's just
There's one
Yeah.
speed and it's clean.
Oh, yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
And like when you beat a car with brakes and stuff, and when you stop it, you hear the clink, clank, clink, clank,
Yeah.
clank.
It's-
But my engine was doing that.
because
so
it's
I'm
like it's piping, glowing, yeah.
Because it can't breathe. It's your
no.
handlebar deep, and the air can't go anywhere. And,
Oh, no, it was.
yeah, you think you get your sled hot on the trail? No, try riding your sled on a blow or powder day. It'll be glowing
Oh,
hot.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
these were the fun days.
Yeah.
But going back to Gru a little bit, you have a lot of connections up there. You've been obviously riding up there for how many years? Like when was the first time you went up to the Gru area?
I went to the Gru area maybe 6-7 years ago from now. Before COVID there, so
Yep.
yeah, so like 6 years ago. And remember the first time there, I went there as a customer. I'm like, gosh, I want to guide there, it's awesome because I love the Chic Choc, but I don't want to do something like too commercial because over there they don't want anything commercial there. So if you have the chance to go and ride the Gru, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Like that, because the Gru, it's totally something different. The Gru, it's in the middle of nowhere, which is between Fermont, Fermont in French, whatever, Fermont, and Bécomo. So basically, you get to Bécomo, and it's 4 hour north. When you get there, there's only one place to stay.
Yeah.
And that place, everything works with reservation. And to go up, there's only one trail. That is the Association of the Guide of the North, who does the trail, which is I'm part of it. And we're really limited number of guide over there. And these guides, as we are all recognized by the government, because over there, this is the only reserve park, let's say. It's a park, a reserve of biodiversity. So it's really unique. So they don't want any sleds there.
Right. So the government is obviously really like tight on who can go, when they can go.
So to get
Exactly.
to snowmobile there is a privilege, a big privilege. Basically.
It is, yeah, because every day there's only 16 snowmobile allowed on the mountain every day.
That's awesome.
And you have to be with a legit guide to accompany you, and
Yep.
we have a video to make you listen, to check before you go up, to know what's going on with
Yep.
that
Right.
biodiversity thing and those what do you call that, like plants that are really, really rare that you only find there.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So, and also plus all of that, just like the regular safety, avalanche, and everything.
Oh, so that
over
makes
there.
sense. With the 2 meter limit, is 2 meters and above, you're not going to compromise the plants that they're particularly interested in, obviously, or they're studying or they're whatever. So that's okay. That makes
Exactly.
sense. Why? Because you're like, well, I could ride in 2 feet of snow. Why do you need 2
Yeah,
meters?
no,
It's to protect the
Exactly.
terrain.
Gotcha.
Over there, the mountain, even if it's winter, if the mountain if the mountain doesn't have 2 meters snow, mountain is closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's closed for the public. Nobody, no skiing, nothing. They don't want anybody.
Now, how's the park configured? Like, is it mostly a trail system? Is it the riders that go? Are they mostly trail riders, mountain guys, a little bit of both? Like, what's the?
No, you have to be, to go to the Gru. I would say most of them are mountain riders, just like us.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of, let's say, 24-inch track guys, that wants to cross from, let's say, Labrador or Vermont, coming down, and they stop at. So they have to go through the Gru, and then they stop at the lodge where we stay, which is fabulous place there.
Yeah.
like, it's crazy. So people do the path to cross with white track, but most of the riders are just like us. Drive up there. It's called Station Wapishka, which is owned by the native there, but it's in the middle of nowhere. But you would never think it's a 5-star in the middle of nowhere. So
Right,
you have
yeah.
your own room. You got the Wi-Fi
Yeah.
when it's not too cloudy there.
Yeah.
But lights, toilet, everything, man.
Yeah.
It's a 5-star. It's crazy. I rode, I rode a lot, tons of Chic Choc there. I went to BC, Colorado, Wyoming there, many different places. And tell you the truth, it's not because I'm from Quebec, but this is one of my favorite places to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's unique, man. You don't even search, for snow. It's like everything is there. Fast riding, big hills. It made me think a bit of Colorado a bit,
Yeah.
Just similar to where Dan Adams, is, Similar to that.
Yeah.
But, it's like lower elevation, 4,000 feet peak elevation also. But it's way colder.
Yeah.
But, sleds has tons of power. It's crazy. It's unique there. Once you go there, you're hooked forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been trying to go for almost, I'm going to say 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. And we had a trip planned with Andrew pre-COVID.
Yep.
And, he put a deposit down and everything. And then it got canceled and COVID canceled it for 2 years. And then it got postponed for another year because of lack of snow. And then this year, same, that's why we're here. Same thing. And it's something we very much want to do. It's not like we passed off the trip because we didn't want to. We really want to check it out, but hey,
Right, and like we said,
the
like
conditions got to be right.
everyone's just the winter is just not
Yep.
not shaping up yet. So it just kind of it was kind of sad.
Yep.
But you're headed up in a couple weeks, right? You said or
Yeah,
March.
March. I mean, myself always guide like the last 2 weeks of March. I'm always there. I mean, I always reserve my spot with my boys there. That I like to go there with customer that I know, because it's let's say it like that. It can be really hostile, because it's big. Mountains are big. If you get hurt, you're really far away from so.
Yeah.
I like to go there with people that they know what they're doing,
Right.
Right.
Because
Now is it one guide for 16 people or
No.
is it like do you break up like multiple guides and like
just like us here in the Shake Shack, I mean, us, there is a regulation which maybe some people doesn't follow, but, it's 1 to 6. So one
Okay.
guide to 6 people maximum. This is how we do it here up in the Shake Shack at Aventure Chic Chocs.
Yep.
But in the group, this is the limit, 1 to 6.
Yep.
Everybody with radio. And also we have a radio with a repeater up in the mountains so the station can hear us back if we need help.
Oh, so
Oh,
if
that's-
someone's really messed up, they're going to know even the same time you do, basically.
Because every time we click that radio, they know exactly where you are.
Ah.
And it showed up on the screen from the station. Because, like, Montgru are really cool, but we're still limited because there is some corridors, say that, like
Yep.
some places that we're allowed to go and not go.
Yeah.
Okay, like kind of like up here where obviously the park
Yeah, the
is
park,
obviously
exactly.
is off
Yeah,
limits.
exactly.
Or like
exactly.
out, there's crown land and there's wilderness and it's different terms for
Yeah,
the same thing.
With the government
Yeah.
and like the people from
Yep.
what call that government natural resource, they draw a plan every year, and we have to be accept every year.
Yep.
So I have
Yeah.
to keep update my 40 hours wilderness medicine. The course to be the what call that. I don't know how to say that in English or about that, but the not the course, but the license to be a real guide, and you
Yep.
have to show
Yeah.
your liability insurance.
Yep.
Yeah. So you have to obviously like it said 40 hours. Is there any like on snow time? Do you have to like have a certain amount of like days logged to be like to
be
keep
a
your
guide
license?
over there?
Yeah.
Not really. It's called Association des Guides du Nord, which is an association of guide there. Because, like what happened at the beginning is the government, they shut this down. Boom.
Yeah, because they can just be like, nope, you're done.
Nobody goes riding. So it was not like Jonathan Lefebvre would say, hey, I want to ride there. So
Too
the
bad.
the government said, okay, you guys have to be an association to be here, from us.
Mm-hmm.
And when your association is going to be here from us, then, we'll see what we can do. And this
Yeah.
is how it was born. And then in this association, they only want like guides that are, or call that, like they are
Like certified or
certified. That
Yeah.
was the
Yeah.
word. Sorry about that. Yeah, people
Yeah.
that they're certified
Yeah.
there.
right.
And we're really limited for more. Right? I think I don't even think that we're more than 15, 12. I think that we are.
But as
Yeah.
remote as that place is and what it is, it's all good stuff. Like that's for the best.
Oh, it's
Because like
crazy.
you got to. I had the opportunity to drive through there this last summer and just drive through it, and like I didn't appreciate how remote it was until I went there and drove through, and I'm like, this is. The closest anything is 2 hours away. I mean, anything, other house, other building. It
3,
is so
yeah.
remote. It's hard to.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So like you want it to be a very tight run ship for sure.
Yeah, of course.
How far does it take? How long does it take you to get there from here?
Yeah, most of my trip, I live from here, so basically I do like from the Chic Chocs, from Adventure Chic Chocs to the ferry in Matane, because I take the ferry in Matane, it's an hour and 15 minutes. Then the ferry is like a good 2 hours and a half. It all depends on the weather. And it happens sometimes, it happened 2 times last year, the year before. The ferry didn't go because the waves were too big, so I had to go the route around from Quebec City, then coming back.
My gosh.
It takes forever.
That was
but normally it's about 4 cats like this, like basically 5 hour and a half drive, but I have like 3 hour boat ride.
Oh yeah, so you're
Breaks it up.
That's
a
not
little
too. That's not too bad.
bit. Yeah.
No, that's not too bad from here. That's good. It's like it's a little break there, but you have to bring everything. It's like food is supply over there. But let's say like me, I stay there for a while, so they don't sell gas, anything. So I bring tons of gas, 3 sled minimum, because they don't rent sled over there, and my spare sled always end up like.
Somebody needs a spare.
Right. Someone needs a spare this,
while
spare
you're
that.
there, you don't miss your vacation.
Right, because
No,
if you go down, you're going to be.
It's over.
You're
sitting-
fudged.
You're just going to be watching TV.
Sitting at the lodge.
There's no TV. You're watching the snowflake through the window.
Yeah. Hoping your buddies are out having a great time.
So the guy that owns that, how long has this been? Like when was that lodge built? Like how long has that been a guide service?
It belonged to the government there. So that place belonged to the government. It's a research station that they rent room for snowmobilers.
Oh, okay. So like a dual purpose, weather station, like you said, or so it's not just a guide service.
No, because over there the station is fully autonomous. So basically, there's no power to it, like solar panel. They have a generator in case, but everything is like
autonomous. I guess.
Autonomous. Yeah, it's crazy. Like the light system, the battery, the way they heat up the boiler for the hot water. Because basically, you're in a 5-star hotel in the middle of nowhere.
Right. And there's no power. There's no utilities. Don't run out there.
There's no power. Electricity doesn't go there. Even if because when you went there, you must have seen it. That huge dam there.
Oh, absolutely. Sank. What's it called?
Manic Sank.
Manic Sank. Thank you.
Manic Sank. This is one of the biggest dam I think in the world for hydro. There.
Yeah, hydro.
Because this hydro dam supply hydro up to United States. Down to United States.
Yeah.
From everywhere. It's a monster. You get there and it's like, what they build there? Yeah.
We get a lot of hydropower from Canada.
Yeah.
A lot of the northern, like New England area and stuff. A lot of our power comes from Canada, from Manic Sank and other places like that. But
yeah, so yeah, there's no power, nothing there.
Yeah.
We got the dry room. I mean, it's fabulous. When I go there, I love it because it feels like home a bit. I mean, you have to go there.
We're trying. We're definitely trying.
But we're here.
Let's do it that next season. Let's try to squeeze it in.
Yeah.
It's like,
No, we were talking because when we found out you guided up there, we knew you rode up there rather, and we're like, oh, you're like, well, let me guide you, and we're like, yeah, let's try to. So we wouldn't have been able to do that this year, but next year we should definitely put that together. Because
it would be
obviously
awesome.
we love riding with you, so it's
it's
and
awesome.
to know who you're going out with is awesome.
Yeah,
to know who the crew is.
Yeah, we trust each other. We all
Yes.
know what we can do.
Yes,
and not
we know
do,
our
and,
limitations.
Do you kind of go the same time every year? Like, are you usually March?
Tell you the truth, February over there.
Too cold.
It's cold. It's.
Andrew said the same thing. He goes, February is fucking cool.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really
We're like,
cold.
oh, wait, let's just go middle of February then. Perfect.
No, March, man. I go there in March, and everybody thinks like winter is over, and over there.
Yeah, because we came up to see you last year in March.
Yeah.
And we had we had one sunny day. It was beautiful. It was warm. Remember? I mean, it was good.
We got so lucky because I don't think I've ever been up here and not froze my ass off.
Yeah.
And that was the first time ever. We're like, let's wait until the end of March and we'll go in the end of March. And we hit the lottery with the weather because a front moved in. We got a bunch of fresh snow, and then it was warm for like 3 days. And the last day we were riding, the snow was kind of turning to crap. It was settling down. Yeah, it was just starting to turn bad, and like we were riding out as it was getting heavy, and we're like, we nailed it.
That was the date that I left from Montgru.
Yes.
I think I was there for one day with you guys, and then
Yeah, and then we
it
had
was-
Matt the next day. And
Yeah, it was my boy taking care of you. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. So let's get back to the Chick Chocs. Tell us, we kind of half know the story. I wouldn't even say half, probably quarter. How when did you come up here? How did you end up in Marsuis and like?
I'm gonna have a can now.
Oh, I was gonna be dating himself here.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna name few names that the older riders will know, and others have no clue
That's
what's going on.
absolutely-
I'm gonna talk about.
That's fine. That's
You know,
fine.
I met this sport in '07. I was down in BC there. I always been like a trail rider forever,
Okay.
like, and in 2007 I was down in BC and I'm a traveler. I love like traveling to learn
New
other
places,
things,
new
places.
things.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right. Yep.
And then I've seen that rent a snowmobile and visit the backcountry. I'm like, why not? It's like then called, and then the next morning, this guy showed up, man, with his like boots with fur coming out, long hair and stuff. That was Dan Davidoff.
Oh,
Dan
yeah.
Davidoff, crazy
No way.
Canadian, was my first guide. I'm like, this guy showed up, and you know me, I'm always joking, like, hey, where is your bunny hill? But I have no freaking clue what he was doing. This guy, man, I had
Not
no clue.
realizing Dan Davidoff was a savage. Like
Yeah.
he was a that dude was a renaissance man in
Oh,
snowmobiling.
man, that
for
was
sure.
so crazy, man. I have to tell you this, man. You know, what do you do when you do trail riding? You tell a guide, like, you want to be so close to the other one. You know,
Yeah.
when you're riding, you push the bumper.
You want to
so-
trade paint.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
me, I remember, I'm taking a sled. It was a dragon, man. Like the first sled. And I'm looking at it. Oh, come, there's so much metal behind the seat, like sticking out. I had no clue what was
Mountain sleds, yeah, like,
mountain
at that
sled
time, yeah.
At that time. And then I remember going up there, I'm pushing him in the bumper, and he's looking at me.
It's like, get
what
off.
the hell are you
Get
doing?
up. Yeah, and I remember he was like sidling the side of the trail. I'm like,
What?
what the fuck? Why is he grinding
Yeah.
the side of the trail like this? This was not side hill for me. I'm like, this is
That's before, like,
useless.
there was no really side.
Yeah, there was no
yeah.
side hill. I'm like,
Side hilling wasn't a thing.
exactly. This is useless. What he's doing there. I'm like, and then he got stuck. Then
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? And I will always remember. He jumped off the trail. I'm like, fuck. And I remember I had a ZRT back in the days. And
Yeah.
You go 2-inch beside the trail.
You stuck.
And you're done.
You're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going. And he's waving his hands like, come. Like, I mean, I'll do a long story short. So basically, I'm like, I'm not going. And then kind of flash in my head, like, that thing, it's kind of long there. So gonna make me float. That's why, I'm going. Man, finally, the one day thing that I was supposed to ride with him and just renting one day just to visit the backcountry with my big backpack and my Kodak there because I want to take some picture.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I couldn't drive this sled, man. And I'm a diehard snowmobiler. Anything with an engine, I meet the limit there.
Yeah.
Piston has to blow through the spark plug there. But then, with that thing, I'm like, fudge, man, I cannot even drive that. Like, I didn't get it out of counter steer. And, back in the days, there was no clinic. Nobody was teaching how to ride.
Right. It was just go figure it out.
Figure it out. Like this and like that, then follow me. I'm like,
What?
so finally, I remember, like, day one, I'm suck as hell. Day two, by the end of the day, I kind of figure out. And me, when it clicks, it really clicked. The third day, I'm driving that thing. We start climbing hills, like counter steer and stuff.
Oh, man.
I had tons of fun. I'm going to show you something that I do. I will always remember that, man. We came on top of somewhere. We were looking down, man. It's insane. And then, I wouldn't do that with customer. Now, we shovel up the corniche there to make an entrance. And then he dropped down and said, check this out. I'm going to climb up. I'm like, what the heck? Then when I kind of see everything that you could do with that, and I'm always been a guys of adrenaline, and adventure. So I'm like, fudge, we can do that with sled. Remember being in the airplane, I'm like, fudge, man, I got to do that soon, man. I have to go back to BC. And bang, I had this click. I'm like, hey, because I was a big time snowboarder back in the days, and I remember
Where were you living at the time?
always south of Montreal.
Okay. Okay.
South from Montreal.
Okay.
But I came here for snowboarding because skiing was popular here.
Okay.
Yeah,
back
because you
on
do
skiing.
like the cat skiing. Or
Yeah,
you get-
exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember being sitting on top of the mountain on my board, looking towards the ocean, because here, that's the only place in the world where you can look at the ocean while you ride snowmobile in
Yep.
the big mountains.
Yeah.
And I was sitting at the top. I'm like, this is crazy how much mountains there is untouched and not usable for nothing.
Right, yeah. The park is off limits, but there's so much more
Yeah.
beyond the park that
Exactly.
just sitting there.
But again, unless you really off trail or you have a 24-inch track, you can't access any of that stuff.
No,
like,
no.
No one was even thinking about it at that
Exactly.
time.
I mean, because there's miles and miles and miles of little
Of
logging
mountain,
roads.
yeah.
So the logging roads give you the access to go to all these
Exactly.
places.
And just the
But,
same
but
when
I
you're
didn't know at the time. The only thing I knew, it was here behind. It's called Mine Madeleine and the Mont Chic Chocs of Mont Albert. This is the place where you get the most snow in the province, in the northeast of America.
Yeah.
And I remember, like I said, being sitting on top of the mountain on my snowboard. Man, those mountains are untouched. And that click on the airplane was taken off from BC to come back to Montreal. I'm like, hey,
I can do that here.
those untouched mountain over there, nobody's riding it. Hey, let's go and explore it. Came back, with all my friends. Hey, I got an idea. Everybody was like, what are you talking about?
Right.
One of my friends.
Like, how old are you at this time?
Oof, it's a long time ago. I don't remember. I don't remember.
We're getting a little personal now.
And then
Jonathan tells everyone he's 27.
Yeah.
I'm 22 in my head, actually.
Okay. Aren't we all? Aren't we all way younger than we?
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. And then, I came here with few friends. One of my friends was like, hey, yeah, let's do it. So we kind of stretch out, the sled we had. And then I had like a crossfire, not the crossfire before. I had the Tony's Tour there, the orange one. What was the
Firecat?
Yeah, no, the F7.
Oh, yeah,
F7,
the F7 Firecats,
yeah.
Yeah.
So
That sled
with
was
the-
great. Oh,
with-
that sled was...
Oh yeah, but we were buying like rail extension and tracks on eBay there, it's like,
Yeah.
and we were doing mountain riding and we kind of searched everywhere. Then I met some locals there. Everybody was scared to go far away, but me, I'm always like, not scared of nothing, like, let's go this color.
Let's go,
we got
yeah.
we got our tracks and old GPS, with no colors and little topo there on it. I mean, this is how I kind of find it and start scratching it. It was in '07. So basically, I mean, like I'm the pioneer of the Chic Choc. I'm the first one who put a long track in a mountain back in the days here in '07. And
What year did you ever have an M7? Because the M's were the first like true mountain sled, right?
Yeah.
And
wow,
that was,
wow. I mean, you can go back until like you can go back in like the powder extremes of like the 97,
a 130,
98.
a 136 is not a mountain sled.
Yeah, exactly.
Powder is in the name.
Exactly.
Doesn't never mind.
The real sled I had, I think it was a 2007 M1000.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said I'm gonna go big, It's like
You had the power for
I had
sure.
the power.
Yeah.
And then like I remember like the M8 came out. I think it was in 10, 09 there.
I think it was
010.
I don't want to say
I think it was
9.
nine.
I think it was 9.
Yeah, 010, 09. But, yes, my blood was green. Well,
Yeah.
really green. I got some pictures there, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I had tons of fun with those sleds. And I mean, these are some of the best Arctic cat never been built.
I don't think anyone would argue with you on that. Like they're
It was a canoe with a track on it, and it floats and it goes forever, huh?
Yeah.
well, again, like Barant and like a lot of the pros of the older pros of today are like that's what they started on. Was Arctic Cat mountain sleds. Like that was the first, not just traversing the terrain or whatever, but real performance mountain type riding, like targeted audience like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Yeah, I had a 2002 Mountain Cat, and I loved that thing.
2002.
2002, yeah, 2002 Mountain Cat, and my dad had a 2002 1000 Mountain Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I mean that thing. I mean, again, you're not.
Could you imagine bringing any of those into where we were today?
Bringing that sled in today would have been just a boat anchor.
Yeah.
Trying to get
Yeah.
in and around. You get all
Yeah.
the power for days, but you'd be
Yeah.
it's a boat anchor.
Yeah, it's an anchor.
That's crazy.
So anyway, you were the first one up. You were riding. So what happened after that? Like how did Adventure Chic Chocs start? Like what was the what was the transition into this is more than just me having fun?
But it was a passion. It was a pure passion. And I wanted to come every weekend, but I didn't have friend every weekend. And back in the days, there was no Facebook there in 07, 10,
Right.
11.
Yep.
Kind of started up like, I think, it really kicked up like in 010, 11, with Facebook and everything. Because I was on many... what do you call that?
Forums.
Forums, yeah. The name
Forums.
forums. I was on forums.
That's how I started. I was on forums.
On forums and posting pictures. And Jonathan, are you still in BC? No, this is Chic Choc. And then in my signature, it was like, come ride with Jonathan in the best place. Come ride the Gaspé Peninsula, and there was no name Adventure Chic Choc. It was only saying I'm riding the Chic Choc, riding the Chic Choc.
You were kind of just showing what you were doing and be like, hey, I'm looking for people to ride. Let's ride. Like, come out
Exactly.
and let's experience, what this has to offer.
And there was like no good hotels like the way it is now in Saint-Anne-des-Monts. It was like crappy hotel. I remember it's like
Nowhere to stay, nowhere to go.
Yeah, exactly. And then I decided to buy the first house where I still live winter time there.
So that was your first place.
Yeah.
Your current. Yeah. Okay.
This is how Adventure Chic Choc started up. So I remember I bought this crappy place, did some reno for like 3 months. Never did reno when I was young. There, here and there, plaster, and I'm fixing it. It's gonna be my place, and this is how I end up. I end up going there, and then I had like outsider watching my pictures, and so I want to go riding with you. And it was back in the days, man. I was charging $80 to have the breakfast, dinner, and the lunch, and I was doing everything, it's like, and everybody was coming, and then at one point, I'm like, hey, I got no more weekend with my girlfriend, what I'm doing, I'm always there, and then, it was making, it just went like boom, because I was the only one offering this
Right.
kind of unique thing.
Yeah.
There,
Right, and word spreads fast, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
his buddy tells his buddy,
Yeah.
and then it's
Yeah.
like...
Because the people that are going to travel and do that sort of stuff, they're gonna tell their buddies. Like that word is gonna get around.
Oh yeah, I remember like the first time American showed up, like you guys are from the United States, and that was so funny because they kind of park in front of my little house. I'm not sleeping there. They were not sure and stuff. Oh man, that was so funny.
He's like, go stay somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know. The other option in town ain't so much better.
Yeah.
That was so funny. That they had a blast. I get along with everybody. And this is how it started. So people were sleeping in my little house there.
Yeah.
And this is how it happened. But how really, really kind of, let's say when I've seen like the first group of what I just told you, it was like it was kind of the start of the business. But the first group, because I was like rent a cottage in the best place there.
Yeah.
So it happened like those customers. I went riding with my friend there, and the Sunday night I did clean the house because I didn't have all those no housekeepers. So clean the house. They left. My friend left, and then these customers came in. So I hand them the key. So here's the key in your cottage for the week there.
Yeah.
I was going away there, because that was the time with the farm and everything.
Sure.
And then these guys, like I just left. I come to live, and they say, man, you cannot go anywhere. They just closed the 132 because there was a huge snowstorm.
Weather, yeah.
I'm like, you're kidding me there. And then I call my friend there. They were on the road. We're stuck in Matan there. I mean, there was nowhere to go. And I'm like, I just rent my place, So
I got no place to go. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And these guys, like, told me, it's like, hey, Jonathan, grab a bed there and like, go tomorrow because it's all like bunk bed,
Yeah, yeah.
in that place. So I'm like, okay, guys, you know, I mean, no
Sacking up.
choice. So yeah, so we kind of start talking to each other and everything. So I had a beer with them, good time. Then I remember like looking on behind the house on the cover of the jacuzzi. There are like 3 feet of snow. Holy crap! And I'm grabbing my bag there, and I'm kind of going away.
You're like, look at the snow. I don't want to.
And then one of the guys said, "Hey, Jonathan, you want to come with us today?" I'm like, these guys will ask me 2 times if I want to go with them.
Yeah.
And then, you know, without knowing, I guide them. These
And
was
that was
the
the-
first guiding. So without knowing, I guide them. And this is how I kind of start up because, you know, at the end of the day, we had a blast. And these guys, they were like diehard snowmobiler. They did race the Hurricane race, you know, up north. And
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
And then, you know, these guys, you know, we came back and said, hey, Jonathan, you want to do something? I'm like, what? I mean, we had an awesome day today. You really know the terrain behind. We're going to pay like the double of what your cottage costs usually. And we want you with us tomorrow. I'm like,
Right.
what?
So it's like light bulb goes off, and you're like,
But
okay.
I'm like, oh, that's gonna pay my weekend, this last weekend, and then
Yeah.
I'm renting my place. So
Yeah.
why not? I'll do that.
Yeah.
And this is how everything started up. Then you know, like everybody wanted to rent my place with me in it, and then boom, then start like
Right, and
charging.
that probably didn't take too long to get old when you're like,
Yeah,
I want my place so I can stay in it.
I-
You can take this place and I can rent, you know. So
Yeah,
that's probably,
because
I would assume that's how
You're living
grew.
there, and you're still riding for pleasure, and you're riding with guests, and you're doing like you need your space.
Yes, right. Today, yes, it's like
Yes.
this. But you know, when you're barely 20 years old, it's like you want everybody home. Like,
Yeah.
let's have a beer tonight. You know, it's like
Sleep on
Yeah.
the floor, on the couch,
yeah.
whatever. Who cares?
You've seen that little house. You know, the most that we've been in this house was 12 people.
get out of
Holy
here.
We
Holy.
moved the table. You know, everybody was stacked side by side, like sausages in the
Oh,
back
man.
there.
Oh, that's
it was
hilarious.
crazy. Oh man, this bring me back like so far. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I never thought, you know, Adventure Chic Chocs was to become what it is. You know, like
So where did the name come from? When did that name just click? You're like, okay, well, I've got some demand and friends that want to do it, and it's getting more booked. And
yeah. So you mean the name of the business? Or
yeah,
everything?
yeah.
So
or when you decided like this is beside just the one
yeah,
weekend,
Right, because obviously, like you get into like taxes and like actually formulating
Exactly,
a business, where
business,
yeah, where it's like that tipping point where you're like,
Yeah,
I
but
gotta go legit.
I didn't. Yeah, exactly. Because I was like renting like my cottage, so it was totally legit. You know, like renting the cottage, so and I was kind of part of that, and it was like paying my fee for my gas and sledding. But I remember I'm like, and one local from Saint Anne-des-Monts was one of my friends. I'm like, hey, let's start it as a business because I'll always do business. You know, in my head, I'm a businessman. Other than snowmobiling, I do real estate and other stuff, and I always think about business. I'm like, let's do that, dude. And he's like, let's do that. But, you know, it was not a businessman like I am.
Yep.
And then I remember I said, you're a local, so some weekend I won't be here. And then you want to be there? They're right with it. Don't worry. And I remember the first group, I have to ask my girlfriend. I'm like, dude, man.
Like,
We start up something.
Yeah,
And
this
then,
is not how you start a business.
no, exactly. So, man.
it's like you need to be there.
Exactly. So I ended up like being here every weekend. And then,
Yeah.
you know, like I remember the first winter, you know, like, like the one 08, 09 there, like before then I'm like, it's crazy. I did spend all my winter here. So, and then, you know, I'm like, okay, we really have to register it and then we'll do that. And then let's do it as a business. And then, you know, I got like 4 guides now working with me
Yep.
full times and
Yep.
other part times. And I have mini houses. So for a group like you
Yep.
guys come in, you have your private place and
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Fun time.
that's huge. I mean, obviously, like it's great to be with, obviously more riders and a big house, but it's
but-
like it's awesome to say like, yeah, you're the lighthouse house, or
And
you're
you're-
the
Yeah,
you're in this
exactly.
house. It's like, okay, it's
You're
perfect.
You're always going on sled trips with your buddies, and at the end of the day, you want to stay with your buddies and like have your space and like this.
Exactly.
It's nice. Every time we've come here, we've always had our own spots, and usually by choice or whatever, and they're fantastic. It's
yeah,
great.
Yeah.
and because I remember myself, you know, being in an hotel room, you want to dry out your clothing or anything like. Here, you have the little wood stove, the big couch there.
Yep.
Yeah.
You fall asleep before time there, and then
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. Now,
Yeah. All right. So what about the name?
Aventure Chic Chocs. The Chic Choc Mountains. This is what it is.
Yep.
It's known for what it is. It's
Yep.
an Indian name, Chic Choc. They had a Chic Choc when they seen those mountains, those native at first. So that's why the Chic Choc and adventure.
Yeah.
You guys
You
know
gotta-
every day it's an adventure.
oh yeah.
So I'm like, let's call it like that, Adventure Chic Choc. But at the beginning, tell you the truth, I wanted to go like so extreme or like hardcore Chic Choc. I'm like, no, like adventure.
Keep
if
it simple,
one day, keep it simple, simple logo, and tell you the truth, it could be like summer pleasure and stuff. So this is how larger like adventure could do like ATVs and stuff, but I did stick to snowmobiling, but one day maybe I would do stuff like
ATVs and rentals.
Like right now I love like being here for the all winter, like 4 months a year. And I love being in town too, good.
Yeah, you gotta. It's everything in moderation.
Yeah,
right? You gotta get your time off, and then you regroup and come back.
Exactly. Because here, like you guys came here, there's not much to do. If you don't like the outdoor ring, there's nothing to do.
Yeah,
right.
And summertime, like don't let your jacket outside because mosquito will steal it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You gotta kind of take a break and kind of reset and get ready. Because if you were in the summer, you'd be just staying here. You'd be living here all year round. Yeah. So that it'd be a little
different.
Yeah. It'd be a little different. Yeah. It'd be a little different.
No, I like it like that so much. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So one question I always had for you is like, can you just obviously this stuff we're in today was bony and getting stuck and this and that and getting hemmed up. Like, what's one of the do you have a really bad story or something that
not bad, but just the gnarliest situation?
like
the worst dangerous situation.
Yeah,
dangerous situation for a customer. I mean, like today, with you, I didn't go I go usually with the radio, because you guys, you're obviously almost like professional riders, you know what you're doing. Everybody has your own radio and stuff. But now I do explain to my customer, because we supply radio to everyone, but I do explain how a radio work from A to Z. It's like people are looking at me, some people like, is he crazy talking about the radio like that? But
could save your life.
Exactly.
Right. Because you must get the whole range of people that come up here to ride a sled. Yeah. Like you must get a guy who just
squids.
hears about you on social media, wherever they hear about you, and we got to go do that.
Yeah, and exactly.
May have never ridden snowmobiles before. But
so, like a good story that could have been really, really, really bad. Thanks God, the weather and everything. I remember, so I'm with Jesse, my other guide. We're going, me and him, to find some new terrain, really far. So where nobody goes, we go there. He's a good rider. I'm a good rider. So let's go there today. So I had a group of French, European people from France there, and they know everything. So,
so real French.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Quebec French.
Not Quebec French.
No.
Yeah, European there. Yeah, different stuff there. And they wanted to do snow bike. So I'm like, no problem. We got 6 snow bike and everything. Showed up a group of 4 there. And it was 2 of my other guiding this group. And there are only them there.
How many of the was in
4.
the group?
There were 4.
Yeah.
4 with 2 guides.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's that. Phil 09 was there, was guiding them.
Oh, Phil 09, yeah.
I asked about. I was like, when's the last time you talked to Phil 09?
Yeah.
So it was so funny because my radio, we play with the power, with the watts. So sometimes when I'm really far away, we just see maximum watt there, so I could catch my other guy conversation. Like super far, and then I'm up, and then I hear, once, on top of the mountain, I hear the French, I'm stuck, I need help. So I'm like, that's normal, we always, I need help, it's like.
Yeah, that was a bunch.
An hour later, envoyez le secours. It means like, send like, and he said that also, like, send the
Rescue or help
send the
or
rescue, the help. And then, later, like, I'm about to get out of the mountain, but I go super high, then coming down, and I catch, send the chopper. I'm like,
oh Jesus.
I'm like,
So it's slowly
it went to, I'm stuck, the rescue without the chopper. Then I look, I look
it's
at
escalating
Jesse.
quick.
Yeah, exactly.
like-
But this was about 1 p.m., when I heard the first call that he need and like near.
And you were just out riding. You weren't guiding. You were just
No,
out.
but I was like maybe, lucky my radio, maybe 8-10 miles away from them.
yeah.
Wow.
And
yeah.
because the geographic situation where I was, I was catching them.
Line of sight. Yeah. You
Yeah.
could,
Yeah, exactly. So I was catching them, but not clearly. Man, I almost went down, and I'm like, hey, they're 2 and they're 4. If they cannot
got
find
it.
it, they're
Yeah.
not professional riders, so
They should
I'm
be
like-
okay.
And then I look at Jesse. I'm like, hey, he went from I'm stuck, I need help, the rescue, and chopper. Said, how
Something
much
ain't right.
gas do you have
Yeah.
left there?
I was just
So
gonna say you guys must have been low on fuel at this point, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how much gas do you have, Jesse? Like,
Yeah.
ooh, we're shaking it. The needle's barely moving. Okay, we got gas at the camp. So I'm like, we can make it. Be good. And then we crossed. We came there. We went to put gas into at the camp there, and then we
Is that
got.
the little camp that we went one time with you on the side of the trail? It's like a little hunting camp.
It's green there. I have a wood stove 20 by 20
Yes.
up in
Oh, okay.
Yes.
London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same place, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, usually with good riders, I mean,
You don't need to go there, basically.
Right.
yeah, we forgot to go there.
Yeah.
But if it's super cold, we
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah, yeah.
So I always have
There
gas
was-
there. Put
There
some
was
gas.
Fireball there last time I was there.
That's an old bottle there.
There was definitely a handle of Fireball there last time.
No
I went.
drinking and driving.
No.
No,
It's
no.
for survival situations only.
Yeah.
When you sleep there at
Yes.
night, there it's fun time.
Yeah.
So these guys, I'm going back, where they are. So I meet the guys, and everybody looks worried. I'm like, where's that dude, man? It's been a while, Oh, yeah, it's been a while. We're searching for them. So, okay, tell me the situation. So he's telling me, there's a lake, a big bowl. So I told them to play there. We're all going to meet here in 30 minutes maximum, and we're leaving, It's like...
Yeah. Getting into the day.
yeah, exactly. But I said, I heard him earlier on the radio. Oh, yes, he was stuck earlier. He came back.
So it's
and
like one guy
everything.
that's lost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
like, okay, so it's been a while you haven't seen him. So I'm asking his friend and everything. And it's all track, like from snow bike tracks around. And I'm like, he must be like near. So
Were your guides on snow
I'm
bikes?
calling him on the radio, but where I am on the lake, I don't get him. I'm like, hey, 5 minutes ago, I heard send a chopper. We never heard that. I'm like, fuck.
Well, I did.
Yeah, so I did. Okay,
Yeah.
so what I did, with the radio, I can play with the watts there.
Yeah.
So me and Jesse went to 2 higher peaks, and the other guy on another peak there. And what I did, I messaged everyone, all the other guys that was down. We're like at the end, we're 6 guys searching for him because some who works part time for me, they were all there.
Yeah.
And lucky, I don't know why, he heard on the radio that we were looking for him. He said, I got you there down. I'm like, what? So I had 3 more people coming up and out to find him. So everybody is there. Everybody is there to find him. I'm like, we're going to find him.
Yeah.
So I got like, we call it like triangle there. So triangle, low watts there. So I'm calling maximum watt. So I catch him, barely catch him, put my watts down, almost not catch him. So I'm like, you 2 guys, did you hear him? No. So basically, I know it was in this direction. So moving.
That's
so-
smart. That's a great way to try
Yeah.
to triangulate. Yeah.
Exactly. This is
Yeah.
how I triangle. Like lower,
Yeah.
you lower the watts as you get closer, so you get into direction there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then if it gets weaker, you're further away. It's playing hot and cold, basically.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then lucky because it was supposed to be snowstorm that day. No snowstorm. A full moon. It's getting almost dark. Like bang! I found the bike there. So I'm like, there it is. I'm like, dude, and I catch him on the radio. I'm like, I'm right beside your bike. So
Where the hell
where
are
are
you?
you? Yeah, where are you? Oh, And I left long time ago. I'm like, what the fudge? I'm like,
You don't leave your mode of transportation.
exactly. And he's only trenched. You know, he couldn't like dig with his foot, but he had a shovel with a backpack and everything.
Yeah.
Then I said, where'd you go? And then he said, I went down. You went down. And where he is going down means it's a ravine.
Going down is not necessarily
it's not
always
going
good.
down to the village, you know.
Yeah,
in
I'm
my head.
halfway home walking down the trail. Like, no, you're going
No.
down into a ravine. Like, you're not.
Man,
Like,
this guy's dropped like down.
how far was
like,
you walking for? I mean,
he told me at the end because I need to understand, you know, because when I got back, it was 1 a.m., whatever. But I told him, you know, I'm going to tell you after. But yeah, so what I did there, you know, it's like, I'm like, we're easy. So I'm start looking around, and there's like a little Bambi lost there. You see somebody walking like this now?
Jesus.
But he dropped down for 2,000 feet down the gully with no exit at the bottom. And then I went there with a sled. That was the limit. I'm like, this is not rideable anymore. You know, we have to walk there, and we had snow up underneath.
God.
and he walked that far with snow that deep.
Yeah, but he didn't walk straight. He walked like zigzagging, like a Bambi who's lost. But follow track like that.
Or you're stuck, follow your track back.
Exactly.
Go the other way, dude.
Don't let the machine there.
Right.
And then, you know, I lost him on the radio for like a good half hour.
Oh.
And I'm like, what the fudge? And then, you know, he's coming back on the radio. And then, you know, I was always kind, you know, because it's still a customer. At one point, you know, he told me, I'm just going to abandon life. I'm like, dude, man.
Wow.
Okay, listen to me. As much as testosterone your dad's had, you know, when he made you, you gotta put that between your 2 ears. You know, you're physically in one part. You're gonna climb up that freaking hill because I'm walking down on your track right now. So no matter what, you know, take everything. If you're out of energy, call me. I'll send you energy through the radio there because he was like, he wanted to
He must have just got freaked out and was just like, I gotta get out of here.
Exactly.
And
Just
like,
wasn't thinking.
I'm
He
fight
just
or flight.
wasn't
Like, I'm
thinking
just
clearly
out of here.
at all.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I remember like everybody we almost carry him, you know, like going up the hill. So we got back to the bike and everything. I dug the bike out, you know, but you know, all of that, it was almost
And
like
this is
midnight.
middle of the night. Yeah.
Yeah, but moon, it was full moon, so
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. No snow, full moon, like snow reflex there, you know. It's like we could see well actually. So pulled the bike and he's looking at me. So, oh no, I don't want to go on the bike.
Buddy.
Like, dude, I have to come back and get the bike tomorrow. You're in one piece there. You're not dead there. And then we come out. As we come out there, you know, I didn't believe that his son was there, and we are quarter miles away from our camp because the spot where it is, you know, and everything, it's not too far. His kid sat on his bike the all entire time we're searching for him. He's freezing like this.
Buddy, you want to get warm? Go hiking through the snow.
And he didn't.
Go looking for your dad. You'll be
and
warm.
he wasn't calling on the radio saying, you know, I'm up here sitting here for
Nothing.
hours.
I'm like, what the fudge you think? He has all his eyebrow all white there. I'm like, dude, we saved your dad. And then he's seen his dad, oh, pop, with a big hog. I'm like, I was scared to lose this dude, man.
Yeah.
It'd been 4 hours. He's not moving, sit on a bike. He was like sweating like a pig there. And then everything froze.
Why would you call out and say, hey, guys, I'm sitting up here. I'm up, you know, like I'm freezing.
I was shocked there, you know, like finally we got to the camp, warm up the kid and everything, and the dad. I'm like, okay, we're gonna bring those two down the mountain. But it was 1 a.m. when I came back, you know. Thanks God, you know. Thanks God, it could have been way worse than that, but
well, I mean,
this is
props to you for doing it. You didn't have to. You didn't have to do any of that. You could have been back at your place, but you and Jesse obviously thought better, and you're like, no, we got to do the right thing.
Oh, yeah,
Like
exactly,
somebody could be in real trouble, and you know the responsible thing is to go do everything you can.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I had another situation like this super cold day there. You know, these guys didn't listen to me. They went down somewhere, and it was not rideable again. I'm like, dude, and this is dangerous. It was so freaking cold. And, and I was always calling them. So, and it was always saying, all good, all good, all good, all good. I'm like, dude, when it's all good, and if I don't see you, it's like, all good to me means really good, you know?
You're
It's like,
ripping.
Right.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
all
ripping,
we know where you are. We're good.
I'm like, dude, you know, and then I told him, okay, it's 1:30. I haven't seen you since 9 this morning, guys. You know, all good, all good. But, you know, before
Yeah, where are you?
You're starting to question that all good.
Before 3, everybody up because, you know, like it's going to be dark. All good, all good. And then no good at 3:15. I'm like, dude, what's going on? Then, you know, I couldn't go down where they were, where they told me, and I throw my yell, you know, you guys roll with me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I barely hear them back. I'm like, okay. Then I let my sled there to the limit. When I know where they are, I'm walking towards that huge creek gully. It's like 100 feet deep. They're in the middle of that. I'm like, dude, man, we have to.
So they just kept going down.
Yeah, so I told them on the radio, you guys, if you're there, are exactly where we are. There's no way out. You know, it's like, it's going to be a tomorrow job there. And so walk up there. So these guys had to walk up. But it's really important to listen to your guide and what they say.
I can see
Well,
that.
we were rehashing the story. I don't remember what year it was, but we were up here riding, and those guys with the snow bikes did the exact same thing, and they went down in the creek. And I remember there was a bunch of posts on social media and stuff, and like they spent the night in the woods because we'll just ride the creek down. You got to understand up here that is not possible. That is not. We're not in Colorado where you can just follow a drainage down. It doesn't work that way.
No, exactly.
And they thought they could do it, and well, they spent the night in the woods.
Yeah, the ravine just gets like not right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like where we were last year, where we popped out in that little go path. I mean, you look at the Turbo Creek. The go path at the bottom. I mean, beyond that go path, I mean, it is like straight down.
Yeah.
It's straight down, and it's so thick you wouldn't be able to. There's no way you're riding that.
This is why, you know, like Chic Chocs are super cool, but I mean, going there without a guide, if you've never been there, you got to know all the ins and the outs of the mountain and where to go and not go. Because, you know, some people slept here, you know, like they're.
Yeah,
I heard a lot.
And then that's obviously an incredible gamble because, you know, if it gets, you know, that could be life or death. You could say,
exactly.
we're gonna spend the night, we're lost, whatever, but it could not go well at all. I mean,
in a weather, you know, the temperature dropped down like crazy. As soon as the sun it's out, temperature dropped down. This is why, you know, in the morning we don't leave before 9 because before 9 here it's cold. It's cold, you know.
Yeah. And Ryan and I, we've rode everywhere. We've rode all over the country, U.S. and Canada, and like, there's been places I'd go back to, but like, I don't need a guide. I could figure it out here. Chic Chocs, we have never once ridden without a guide up here,
or thought about it. Like, you know,
we wouldn't even think about it because you can get I'm really good with direction, but man, you can get turned around in your head fast with some of the little cart roads and the paths and the like. You could get in trouble out here. There's no joke.
Yeah, because even with a GPS, you know, you got your GPS. You see the topo, but some stuff, you know, you get there.
Oh yeah, it's right across this. Like,
but it's too thick, you know. Like there's places that are not rideable, and then you try to walk that or cross a sled there.
You just can't do it.
Right, and then there's some areas too where we went years ago with you, where like you're driving on the side of this, you know, the little go path or the you know, the logging road, and it's all super thick, and you're like, oh, let's drop down in here, and you're going down like, where the hell are we going? Like, this is not going to go. And also, you drop into like a beautiful ridge that goes all the way around. You're just like, if I didn't have a guide here, I would be driving on all day thinking
you never
know that little area.
How many times when you were figuring all this out? How many times did you drive by zones where you're like, that's one of my honey holes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now you would never think to dive off into some of these places. I'm just telling you would never find this on your own unless you spend 5 years scouting it.
Oh, exactly. Me, you know, like I have so many years here, and I remember one day I came here, you know, back before like the guiding stuff that I just told you guys.
Yeah.
Like snow is hard everywhere. It was like wind blowed everywhere. I'm like, gosh, that make no sense. This is disgusting. And then I went down a little hill. Then I turned down, and then, you know, like back in the day, sidling or like counter stairs, like.
Yeah, it was new.
There was no name for those techniques, basically. And then I got into the trees, turned down. It's all soft in the trees. I'm like, what what the heck?
Yeah,
And
and
then,
you know,
I told my friend, let's ride there. And this
another
is
light
how-
bulb went off.
Yeah, this is how we kind of
Yeah.
start up riding the trees. And,
Yeah.
tree riding was not even called tree riding.
No.
It's like we didn't know this exists back in the day.
So obviously, we were to go back a little bit. You had Arctic Cats for a while. When did you whenever your relationship with Polaris started, which I'm curious how that happened, but was it Arctic Cat to Polaris, and then obviously, you have rentals and you're set up with them and everything. So how did that? What was the transition there, sled wise?
Sled wise, my blood was green and I always loved
Yep.
Arctic Cat because, like we just talked, like they were making the best sled back in the days.
Yes.
And then, the pros came out
Yes. In 13, I think,
Yes,
right?
Exactly. When the pros came out there in 13, and I had a rep, the one who's in charge of the East Coast there.
Was that Nick?
No, Nick came, but Nick came in second. That was
Okay.
the French Canadian.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who that was. Yep.
Yeah. So he came there, and I met him, and then with four boys, they came riding once, and then he didn't tell me who he was at all there, and then he came back again. He had really good fun with me. And then I had Nick that came there because Nick says, you have to see these guys there, riding their trees and stuff and who he is. And there's tons of fun there. And he has a fun thing going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, that was, I think, 2 years before I signed with Polaris. So it must have been in 13, 14 there.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick showed up there, had tons of fun with him. Mm-hmm. And he was with another rep, high rep from Polaris there. But I didn't know there were only two there. So, and you have to pay for four when you come ride with us to take your guides out, And I didn't know who he was, So, and I treat everybody the same because, I have customer, they land here with a chopper and others, drive their car. It's the trip of the year for them. So everybody's treated the same. So, but I had tons of fun with them and I blew up my front shock and my skid. So I'm fucking trenching and wheelie out riding them. Like, who's this guy? Tons of fun.
Yeah.
At the end of the trip, he came into my house and he pushed me the car. He said, hey, here, who I am there. Want to earn your business, want to work with you. What do you need? I'm like,
what?
What? I don't
You're
get it.
okay.
I don't get it. I said, we heard a lot about you. We heard about other little business, around.
So it was a job interview.
But I didn't know. It's heard of. Yeah, it's heard of.
Yeah. But to your point, you treat everyone the same, and I've seen you with all different groups and people.
If you had known, you would have acted differently.
No, maybe not. No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I don't think you would have. I don't
I'm
think you would have.
No, I'm
maybe,
always. Maybe I would have been nervous, but I didn't know much back in the days about sponsorship and being up and marketing and everything because I always been doing this sport because I love it. I have a passion for snowmobiling there, and so I've been doing it because I love it.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, that's great for you because obviously that's a huge part of your business. Obviously, having a rental fleet.
Yep.
That's gonna you can that's another it's another part of your
and good for marketing too. Obviously, you do stuff. You do the social media and this that. We're doing something in the woods today. You do that, and it helps. It's good for you too because Polaris shares it and it gets you more stuff, and it's it's part of the whole.
Yeah, but to me, this is one of the best sled to ride the tight trees.
I would agree. Yeah.
And from any other sled there, and they're effortless. Because I remember the year before I signed with them as an athlete there. I remember they came up and said, hey, I got a surprise for you because it was in 15 I was riding the 16 Arctic Cat.
Yeah.
And then the Axis was to come out there, but it was not already revealed there. And then I remember Nick showed up with Francis and here it is. Try this.
They brought you.
I'm like,
try the new sled that's not even released yet.
In my head, I'm like, I'm gonna bend it in 2 seconds. So light there, it's and those cats, they were strong there. I tried it one day, then the second day I hopped back on it. My gosh, this is so effortless to
Yeah.
ride. You know,
Yeah.
I could open up a bar here and then till 3 a.m. in the morning. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not out of energy riding those sled. So, and then, you know, like after that, you know, at the same time, I was in negotiation with Skidoo because Skidoo, I mean, it's
Right,
It's
you're
Canada.
in
it's
Quebec.
Canada.
Yeah, yeah.
Canada.
It's in
Canada.
Canada. And then, you know, we were here and there, and then boom, they came with something like, Jonathan, we want to work with you. You try your sled. I'm
Yep.
like, huh, you know, I remember what I told like Polaris there back in the days. I'm like, even, you know, going to another brand or with you or whatever color, I'm like, right now I'm Arctic Cat, and I remember I told her, like, it was Julie Benton back in the days there that was there.
Yeah.
And I told her, I feel like I'm cheating my girlfriend, you know, like the way, and then, you know, it's like, I don't want to do the move there. And then, you know, like, I remember hanging up the line, then I had like many person on the line, you know, like, I think we were like 5 or 6 from Polaris there, marketing and everything, you know, asking question. And I remember hanging up the phone and didn't say yes, you know, like, I'm not there. Then, you know, I had to think, I'm like, okay, I do that as a passion, but now it's professionalism.
Right now,
going
yeah,
to
you're
that, and then,
taking
you know,
that next step.
Yeah.
and tell you the truth, after that, you know, Arctic Cat, just like for mountain riding, this is not what they are.
Yeah.
Today, I'm like, okay, man, this is the
Right,
best
because
move.
Arctic Cat wasn't coming with you with a deal to say, hey,
Yeah.
you know, Jonathan, we want to work with you as Arctic Cat. And this,
But the truth, what I said, you know, was super honest. I'm like, hey, there's another brand who wants to work with me. I didn't show any contract. I went to see them, and they were like, I felt like they had like both feet on the couch, like, hey, you're the little nowhere from the little like East Coast side where nobody knows you. But this is how I felt back in the days, because I didn't realize how unique was the Chic Choc or what I had here. And boom, you know, like I decided, I'm like, no, I'm quitting the boat with Arctic Cat, because they were kind of independent, sort of, I could say.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm moving.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the only gripe almost with Arctic Cat is like their marketing, like it seems to, you know, it kind of does this with all
They
of a
don't-
sudden
yeah.
they're taking really good care, and then they kind of back off, and like obviously they've had their speed bumps themselves, and it's like I'd love nothing more for them to do something like that, you know, but they just it's not their thing, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take anything. I mean, Polaris was like their marketing department is just like
they were
top
on
notch.
fire.
They were just going after like any you know, any
Yep.
rider, and you know, like they're just like trying to get that
Yep.
sled into as many hands as they could.
Yep.
You know,
And
but
we-
maybe one day you'll get back on the Catalyst. Maybe that'll be the
Maybe next year when we bring yours,
maybe that'll be the shifting tide.
I want to hear an unbiased review from Jonathan about an 858 Catalyst. Like, just I want to see you ride it
I
and
didn't
just
try it. I didn't try it.
no one has not an 858, but a 600. You know, 600 is all they have now. But like, I'm just curious what it would do out here.
Yeah,
like they're so small, which
think-
is
I
like
think we're all
obviously
curious.
small
Did you
is
ride
good.
it?
I did. I rode a 600 Catalyst a couple weeks ago, and like I rode a trail version, and you know it was a 600, so like we're apples to oranges, but like.
It's very small.
I like the way it feels, and it's very small.
It's very
And like
small.
obviously for what we're doing out here, small is good. You need this like to fit in some of the places and some of the things that you do. You know what I mean?
It
Yeah.
felt good. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, like even standing on mine to standing on the Catalyst, you're like, man, it's just so like it feels.
Oh, really?
It just
Yeah.
it feels like so
Yeah,
much smaller.
it's tapered more too, and whatever. But yeah.
So I heard that you signed one for next year. So bring it. You know, we'll see what you can do with that. Follow my line.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, I did. So we'll see. Hopefully, they're guaranteeing it before the fall, so hopefully there'll be no problems with you know, getting them delivered. So
That's good.
yeah,
I don't think there was a lot of line following today, though. Basically, whoever had first tracks.
it was hard. It was hard to follow. You get your own line going today.
yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Following
was like-
any track.
Yeah, it was like, oh, here's a line and blow down. No, I got to go around and blow down. You know, so
Exactly.
well, let's hope the season is not destined to
There's still
continue
hope.
the
There's
you know
hope.
the
Oh,
trend.
there's hope. Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah,
hope. Like I
there's-
said, you know, like snowstorm of 3, 4, 5 feet in one night it happened here.
Yeah.
Right. Like so. Like when's like the latest you've been riding up here? I would assume.
Oh,
Gotta be
my
in April.
birthday. My bird. I know. I've done it. Like back in the days, I used to ride like late April, 23 of April, because 23 of April is my birthday, and I remember like,
Birthday ride is
yeah,
awesome.
birthday ride. You know.
Right.
But in June, I have some picture. 1st of June, because I'm like, oh, June to me in my head it's summer, so I'm like, I want to be on a sled, and I got pictured. There was like
That's awesome.
7 feet of snow there, and I'm riding a sled in June.
What was
I remember
the-
it was 17 degrees for us, so it was like what?
That's pretty warm.
That's warm.
Oh yeah, like
That's
75.
45. Yeah.
I mean, I was in t-shirt, and I remember with no baklava, and my eyes were closed. I'm
all
like,
sun blind.
no, but I'm like the hot air was like petting my skin. I'm like, this is not normal snowmobiling.
I'm used to freezing, absolutely freezing.
No, that was
All right,
good.
what's the earliest you've ridden?
Here?
Thanksgiving gotta be, right?
October, like
Oh,
early
yeah.
October.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
All October, yeah. Rideable, you know,
Yeah.
disable.
Yeah.
And I remember like one good winter was 14. 14. The 3rd of November, we had a good 5 feet on the ground. The 10th of November, you know,
Yeah.
I was losing my probe.
No kidding.
Yeah, more than 10 feet. 10
Yeah.
feet on the ground there. It was crazy.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was amazed because, you know, we were going everywhere over every trees.
Yeah.
But that winter there in 14, crazy beginning of the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1st of June there, we had a little bit of rain,
Yeah.
but, you know, it set up everything down. But then, you know, we had snow. But when you get so much snow, it's like, you know, like Mother Nature cannot send you rain there. You know?
Yeah.
So I was thinking about today. I sent Ryan a photo a couple weeks ago of a guy sitting on a chairlift, and then the sticker on the chairlift says, "At least I didn't bitch out and move out west." And it just makes me think of Jesse a little bit. So I'm sorry, Jesse, if you hear this,
Yeah.
but that's kind of how I
Jesse's gonna
feel.
be sending you a text.
Because I sat down last night at Jonathan's giant table with my boots off, and
Boots off.
with your boots off, and you have the picture kind of crooked, and it's Jesse staring me right in the face, and I'm like, wow, it'd be fun to ride with Jesse out here again sometime. So I'm sorry, Jesse, but I'm throwing you under the bus a little bit
Yep.
for ditching us.
That's awesome. Yeah, you deserve it.
He does, but he's out. You know what? I talk a little trash, but he's out in Revy doing, you know, doing what a lot of people would dream about doing. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, the
it's-
snow and Revy's not.
it's terrible
it's-
everywhere.
It's
They just got a ton
Yeah.
of rain, and it's warm.
Yeah, I just
and
spoke with him yesterday,
Yeah.
and this is what he told me. You know, he sent me a text. He said, shitty, you know, they had
Yeah.
rain. It
Yeah.
was like 40 degrees with tons
Yeah.
of rain.
Yeah.
And I've seen some Snapchat that he sent me. Holy crap. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, we're good here, you know,
Yeah,
compared
yeah.
to what he has.
Right. It's
Yeah.
not like they're killing it and we're dying out here. Everyone's basically on, even west east. It's low everywhere. It's a little bit messed up this year across the board, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Cool. Well, you want to end this one?
sure. Yeah. I
Sure.
don't have any other questions. Any questions for us,
Sure.
Jonathan, or anything else you
Question.
can think of? Or?
Yeah. Well,
Are
thanks
we
for.
going to Montgru next season together?
Yes.
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 Absolutely.
Boom.
So
We're gonna do that.
you got to reach out to us, give us the dates, let us know when you're like, these are the weekends I'm up guiding, whatever, and we will make sure that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
or,
March,
or,
when warmer.
if you want, you know, we could do that. Come here first, just a day or two. Then it's split the ride in two. Then if you have like a 4 day.
so travel day in the middle, and then a little bit, then
Yeah.
then get really rowdy.
Yeah.
out in Peru.
Do like a whole week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fantastic idea.
Awesome.
we
Cool,
gotta
guys.
we gotta make that happen. Well, Jonathan, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate.
You know,
thanks for sitting down with us, man.
Yeah,
It was
and-
awesome.
No, I appreciate, man. It's always a pleasure seeing you and having you guys. You know, even if we live far and close, you know, at the
Yes.
same time there,
Yes.
but it's always a good time.
Well,
you know.
Joe, Ryan and I were talking about it earlier, but it's like you have your winter friends, you know, and your summer friends, and like this is
Exactly.
what it's nice to do this because we've known each other for so long, and you know we learned stuff about each other that probably didn't know, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
and we
Yeah.
wouldn't
Yeah.
otherwise. So thank you. You know,
Yeah.
it's a
I
good
appreciate
time.
you guys, man.
Awesome.
It was
Cool.
awesome. Super good.
All right. We'll see you later.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.